Have you ever heard of Niuserre? Probably not. He's not Tutankhamun. He's not Ramesses the Great. There are no blockbuster movies about him. But if you want to understand how ancient Egypt actually worked, how it survived and thrived for centuries, Niuserre is one of the most important kings you need to know. He didn't conquer new lands or invent a new civilization. He did something much more crucial. He perfected the one he inherited. This is the story of the king who finished what others started, and in doing so, saved his dynasty. To understand Niuserre's achievement, you have to understand the Egypt he was born into. Around 2445 BCE, the fifth dynasty was looking shaky. His father, King Nefertiti, had started a grand pyramid complex, but died before it was finished. His older brother Nefertiti took the throne, but his reign was tragically short. He died young, leaving his own pyramid barely begun. Imagine the scene: two dead kings in quick succession, two massive, unfinished royal projects scarring the landscape. To the ancient Egyptians, this wasn't just a construction delay. It was a crisis of cosmic proportions. The king's journey to the afterlife was essential for maintaining Ma'at, the divine order of the universe. Unfinished pyramids meant incomplete journeys, a broken connection between the world of the living and the world of the gods. Royal authority looked fragile. The whole system of kingship, the very foundation of the state, seemed to be faltering. This was the fractured kingdom Niuserre inherited. He wasn't just stepping up to the throne. He was stepping into a void, tasked with mending a broken line. So, what was his first move? A glorious foreign campaign? A radical new law? No, Niuserre's first achievement was deceptively simple, yet profoundly powerful. He started finishing things. He immediately ordered work to resume on his father Nefertiti's pyramid complex. He didn't just patch it up. He saw it through to completion, ensuring his father's spirit had its proper eternal home. Then, he turned his attention to his brother Nefertiti's abandoned site. He took the unfinished pyramid and transformed it into a proper, functioning mortuary temple. He didn't just build stone walls. He restored his family's honor and their sacred duty. In these acts, Niuserre sent a clear and potent message to the entire country: the chaos is over. The royal line is secure. The throne still works. This wasn't about personal glory. It was about restoring continuity and demonstrating that the institution of kingship was stronger than the fleeting lives of individual kings. In a world where stability was everything, this was more valuable than any conquest. With the family business back in order, Niuserre could focus on his own divine role. The kings of the fifth dynasty called themselves sons of Ra, but Niuserre took this title to a whole new level. He became the ultimate master of the sun cult. His greatest construction project wasn't even his own pyramid. It was his sun temple at a site we now call Abu Ghurab. This was the largest, most sophisticated, and most beautifully decorated sun temple ever built. It wasn't a tomb. It wasn't a place for the dead. It was a vibrant, living center of worship, dedicated to the supreme god Ra. At the heart of the complex stood a massive obelisk, a stone symbol of the sun's rays, designed to capture the first light of dawn. Here, priests performed daily rituals, making offerings to Ra on behalf of the entire kingdom. And who was Ra's chief representative on earth? The king, Niuserre. The temple at Abu Ghurab wasn't just a place of worship. It was a political statement. It cemented a new model of power in Egypt. The gods rule from the heavens, the priests manage their cults on earth, and the king is the essential link between them, the chief priest and earthly agent of the sun god himself. But Niuserre's obsession with order didn't stop with religion. He was the great systematizer of the fifth dynasty. He applied a principle of standardization to royal architecture that would influence builders for generations. Before Niuserre, pyramid complexes had a lot of variation. Under his reign, they became uniform. He established a blueprint, a pyramid of a certain size, an adjoining mortuary temple with a specific layout of courtyards and chambers, and a long covered causeway leading down to a valley temple by the Nile. Everything followed a strict, predictable plan. Even the art became standardized. The relief carvings that decorated the temple walls reached a new level of technical precision and followed consistent themes: the king celebrating festivals, receiving offerings, and smiting Egypt's enemies. Now, you might hear standardization and think boring or uncreative, but you'd be missing the point. This wasn't about stifling creativity. It was about creating an efficient, replicable system. It meant that royal projects could be planned and executed with predictable speed and cost. It turned the complex art of pyramid building into a streamlined state enterprise. By systemizing everything from temple layouts to artistic motifs, Niuserre made the Egyptian state more predictable, more efficient, and ultimately more stable. So what is Niuserre's legacy? If you look for epic tales, you won't find them. His reign is remarkably quiet. There are no legends of him being a great tyrant or a military genius. There are no dramatic stories of rebellions being crushed or a golden age of unparalleled wealth. And that, right there, is the entire point. Niuserre's reign was one of quiet, supreme competence. The state worked. The religious cults worked. The administration worked. The economy worked. He inherited a system on the verge of a breakdown and left it a well-oiled machine. He proves a fundamental truth about history and leadership. Stability is a form of power. Completing a task is a source of authority. And a well-designed system will always outlive raw, personal ambition. He didn't build the biggest pyramid, like Khufu, or fight the biggest battles, like Ramesses. Instead, he built the most functional, stable, and organized Egypt of his age. The kings who came after him were able to build their own pyramids and rule a prosperous nation because Niuserre had done the hard, unglamorous work of fixing the foundations. The fifth dynasty survived, and it survived because of him. So the next time you think about the great pharaohs, remember Niuserre. Remember the king who understood that true power isn't always about what you start, but about what you finish. The kings who quietly make things work are often the ones history depends on the most, even if it doesn't always give them the credit they deserve. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into ancient history. If you enjoyed learning about the unsung heroes of the past, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories from the ancient world. See you next time.